Suji, Dagi Chunye Jibe Tonangi, Rola Benje Sangi Juba, Chedan Sugi Chona, Janjo Bandu Nani Suji, Dagi Chunye Jibe Tonangi, Rola Benje Sangi Juba, Chedan Sugi Chona, Janjo Bandu Nani Suji. Dagi Chunye Jibe Tonangi, Rola Benje Sangi Juba, Shi Begi Shushi Medojan, Viralik Shi De Kembadi, Sanjay Shindo Mite Buhai.
That's 이제 단지시대 상지시 공부도 막 대제 단비 취해 세네. 나는 쓰기도 신의 쓰기를 배우는 분이 있어서 그거 지하치고.
Set a good motivation. For the sake of all mother sentient beings, I will achieve the state of enlightenment. For this, I will listen to the holy teaching and practice properly in order to benefit sentient beings.
뭐야? 어떻게 선배님 많이 있어? 예?
니가 레고 니.
네.
니가 레고 니.
니가 니들이요. 맞아. 니가 니들이 그 자원이 그래도. 니가 너도 저주다. 정말 맞아 지금 봐. 상계 능력 이제 봐. 단비 되는 님이 있어. 그게 이슈가 지금.
So we continue. Verse 88, it says, thoroughly complete enlightenment in all aspects, abandonment of defilements with their imprints, Buddhahood and non-abiding nirvana are ultimately non-dual. So it's under the outlines of the significance of establishing this indivisibility. So to explain this verse, then we go to extra notes. Ultimately, the abandonment and realizations of a Buddha are of non-dual entity. Are of non-dual entity because a Buddha who has manifestly completely enlightened in all aspects of all phenomena and nirvana, there is the abandonment of the defilements of two obscurations together with their imprints are of one entity. So this verse basically it explains that the ultimate realization and ultimate abandonments of a Buddha are one entity. So the meaning of this verse is basically the ultimate abandonment and ultimate realizations of a Buddha are of a non-dual entity. Then if we refer to our commentary, then here he also explains the same. He says, The perfect Buddha and the non-abiding Nirvana are ultimately non-dual. So the perfect complete Buddha and the non-abiding Nirvana are ultimately non-dual. So basically, it means that the ultimate realization and the ultimate abandonment are of one entity.
Oh, okay. That and that also that only do it. Quando ninguém ia meter do tempo ali, tá tem decision bater uma, tá decision bater uma, tá? Ele quando tá o se deu, tá o se deu, tá o se não tá muito que se o da, tá o da já se o deu, se deu, não ba tanque jamais ba,上面只有人的da，也没请你他把看的一些事，说我记住啊，我到底看到的些我都，一些吧。
So next verse, go to 8. So then this verse indicates the Tathāgata. So verse 89, he says, liberation is inseparable in its character from all aspects, the innumerable, the inconceivable, and the quality of being without defilement. Whatever is this liberation is also the Tathāgata.
와, 나 인디지 만성하면 봐. 참게 인디들라 난 넘버 던지 인디들라 되겠어. 인지지. 나한테 인디니 봐도 정면 봐 사이 제가 타에 봐 인디 자죠. 아 인디베 정면 봐. 사이요 봐 제가 타에 봐. 장가지 않는데 와 자치모 와.
사이요 가.
정면 비 인디 들어와. 아무 니 봐도 정면 비 인디스 되래. 정면 비 인디데 나 정면 봐서 사이요 자치모 타에 봐. 인디 자치와 기자 시고라 정밀 인디스나 이와 장가바 칠 거와 그와 인디기 사이와 제단 타이 바티 인디 자치와 얘라 정밀 인디스 이바와 아 손바데 산도 메비 인디스 얘라 산도 메비 인디 아 산도 메비 인디스나 아 산도 메비 인디스나 아 인디기 장다 니바다 틀어서 바로와 틀어서 하장 그때 땡사보 또 바꿔
당당
인디 장다 니과다 또 나서 든리기 또 바꿔 하자는 니과 친구 선다와 니과 친구가 또 바꿔 사바이 송사 그 상도미 비유데스 와 상도미 비유데 어디 숨바들와 다 드미지 인데스와 데레 간다 다 좀 바차지 바 시티데 니디 바차지 바 пом비 인데 데레 간다 시티데 니디 지장 말리 바 пом비 인데 인데 드리지 데 바스 드미지 와 말이 바차다 시티다니 강가베 지장 말이 봐 답변이 되더라 다 드미지 되려와 그만이 되게 다 들리 15대 예매 되는 체니 나도 강의 받을 타도 다 바래스다 단다 타바데 디시가 두르와 어때비 15대 예매 되는 게지 그러니까 내가 타도 다 봐서 그래서 예매 되는 딱 나도 줘라 넘버 2 좋아대 타도 다 바래스
넘버 2
넘버 2와 농조스 타발로 타바래 이게 되게 농조 강의 받을 타바래 타도 다 바래스 타두기 타바래 때때기 타두기 타바 강의 받을 때 대시시 바래 다다다 두수와 타두기 타바 강의 때 대시시 바래 해서 두고와 그 두랑도 들어 맞아 나는 가다 타바데 대시시 바 두야 인디시다 되게 차네 대시시 바 두고와 인디시다 되게 차네와 나 인디시다 되게 차네 내 대시시 바 두야 때 인디시다 되바데 나 가다 타바데 내 강의 받을 때 대시시 바래 해서 나 인디시다 마시서서 나 인디시다 되게 되게 이 타두기 타바도 맞아 지다 요 와
So to explain this verse 89, then we go to extra note. He says, the ultimate liberation is the Tathāgata. So here is here he establishes the ultimate liberation is the Tathāgata. So because it possesses the characteristics of being indivisible entity of all aspects of qualities, quality of being numberless, inconceivable to those with perverted logic, and devoid of defilements of the two obscurations. So here, to establish the ultimate liberation is the Tathāgata, then provide the reason because it possesses the four characteristics. And these four characteristics are being an indivisible entity of all aspects of qualities. Indivisible. Possesses characteristics. Yeah, because it possesses the characteristic, being an indivisible entity of all aspects of qualities. So this is the first quality, all aspects of qualities. So it means that the Tathāgata possesses all aspects of qualities without any exception. So it possesses all qualities. And the second quality is quality of being numberless. So quality of being numberless means that the qualities are limitless. So they are limitless, extensive divisions of instances. So it means that the qualities are extensive, the qualities are limitless. And inconceivable to those with perverted logic. It means that due to the great ability, due to the great power, and due to the limitless number of these qualities that Tathāgata possesses, therefore, it is inconceivable to those with perverted logic. And the last one is devoid of defilements of the two obscurations. It means that this Tathāgata is devoid of defilements of the two obscurations together with the imprints of ignorance. So therefore, a person who, so Tathāgata who possesses these four characteristics is the原定时堂点摆那啲他都嘅他吧，啲原定时堂点摆那啲是写吧啲主要嘅話。
原定因为的点吧，是吧？因为点他都给他把的，他都给他把的。
講大樣嘅。
原定是因为的点。原定是因为的点的話，因为点的是能夠抗議把的，他都給他把的意思。那麼主要抗議把的，他都給他把的意思。我原定是有了，因为的点的。因为对比，那只能做抗议吧的，那么做抗议吧的，他就
原定市場點俾定應啲咯，定應啲他都其他吧咯，
那麼做是原定，因為對比那麼做是我們說做一他吧咯啦，做一他吧咯，我能做抗議吧的呢，那他都其他吧的意思，那對比他都其他吧抗議吧的，那第一吧的意思我話，因為對比他吧咯，那對呢。做给起，是吧？但那得搞，那是抗上这些行为嘛，是吧？他都他不能这些行为是吧？他不这些行为是吧？
他都给他。
因为的对比，这个话，那么做抗议吧的，
那么做
抗议吧的，那他都给他把的意思，他都给他把，那等于他都给他把抗议吧的，那第几吧也是，
他都给他把抗议吧的，
我的第几吧也是，等到多的时候，他都给他把第几吧也是，可多了那个行业。
So the ultimate liberation, right, is the Tathāgata. Then because it possesses these four characteristics, so the liberation that possesses these four characteristics is the ultimate liberation. So first we talk about ultimate liberation. So ultimate liberation that possesses these four characteristics is ultimate liberation, and the ultimate liberation is the Tathāgata. So basically, it means that, in brief, it means that the ultimate liberation is the Tathāgata. In other words, if elaborate, it means the liberation that possesses the four characteristics is the ultimate liberation, and this ultimate liberation is the Tathāgata.
那说的，那你觉得让上级被弄住他把有啊？你觉得找经济他把的，找经济两家找经济他把有，他把那个到第三说，这个他把的他都骂的，完了别家开心了，他都给他把的现象都对公巴节的，我也那是骂的了，我
他都的些个了呀，
写吧，因为得等到公西节的是公巴节，公巴等到先了把写吧就来骂到，对我也那是他都给他把骂的也是，你对。 다중거지 타바데 완전 다중거지 다 남도스 넘버 좋아데 타두고 타바데 해서 근데 가시는 시에데 용에서 타두고 타바데 말해 해서 와 타두고 타바데 만다 상지랑 주지 디바마도 시 내제가 완전 좀 이거 말했어 나 내제 완전 타바 열에서 열에서네 타바지 열에서 타바 생긴 거지 열에서 열에 있는 타바 열에 있는 타두고 타바데 레벨에서 돼 말해 해서 타두고 타바데 있으나 진방 맞지 진방에 타바지 와 다도 타바지 지반이 빵이 타바지 그래서 내게 안되지 타바지 진방이 타바 말이에스 와 어디라
nhìn thấy rằng rằng sang đi trái trong bài kỳ tháp bài này thì anh xăm xăm là bị chắc khá xí này thì tháp bài tháp tu để xây kiểu đấy
다도 타바지 시켜요
이 này yang này thì cũng bao nhiêu rồi cũng bao nhiêu là xia rồi so even though in some texts hearers and solitary the liberations of hearers and solitary realizers arhats is explained as the ultimate liberation. However, it is with intention. So it is with intention, or it is explained with another intention. So it means that what it means by it is with intention means that it has another intentions of explaining in this way. So even though in those texts, the liberations of hearers and solitary realizers are explained as ultimate liberation. However, it is with another intention, or it means that there is an intention behind this. So it means that those hearers and solitary realizers arhats, they do have liberation, they attain liberation. However, their liberation is not the ultimate liberation. Even though in text it says that their liberations is ultimate liberation. So, however, there is an intention behind this. So it means the intentions is even though they do attain liberation, and their liberation is fully qualified as well. So it means that they attain a fully qualified liberation. So, however, their liberation is not ultimate. So, in order to be an ultimate liberation, it must be it must endowed with the two obscurations must be abandoned. So in order to be an ultimate liberation, the two obscurations must be abandoned. So for the liberations of hearers and solitary realizers arhat, since the two obscurations have not yet been abandoned, therefore their liberations are not ultimate liberation. However, their liberations are fully qualified.
산지지 연디전 두바시비 탑스나 비고레
타투기 타바
타투기 타바데 두식 데 두고라 간다 강 타투기 타바데 다 간다 디시바레스 와사로와 디시바레스 다 타투기 타바데 다 간다 디시바니 두식 타데라는 비고레 다 연디시와 또 연디시데 두바시비 탑스나 비고레와 연디시데 산지지 연디시와 산지지 연디시보데 두식 탑데 다 타데마 베레샤르 셰와 데 두바시비 타데마 베레샤르 셰와 다 베데 아마 지주로입니다. 제가 좀 문제시 봐. 현다 현라 해봐다. 그것이 연락 강제 봐. 이게 예시 매번죠. 대리들라 최빈지 나의 수를 지지지 나다저기 대라라스 가이에는 신바다. 대레대는 틀적게 주밀레라 라조로스. 대라 문바 조나나 지지 유인 손주로와 손주바 대내 유인 소이나 대만 상시 주모데 예랑 판지 용조바 문제 인지 배시소세 어디 다시로 그 시도를 와 어디마 배드에 와 어디 무시는 비시에
go back to root verse 90 to 92. So this verse 90 and 92. So previously we talked about the ultimate liberation is Tathāgata, right? So here it explains the method to accomplish this ultimate liberation. You can also alternatively you can also understand it as an explanation to explain explanations that explain the method to attain the four qualities of Buddha. So you can understand it as a method that accomplishes the ultimate liberation, or Alternatively, you can understand it as the method to accomplish the 4 qualities of Buddha through analogies or through example. So here you can see it is under the outlines of the example. So verse 90 to verse 92, they say, for example, painters who are specialized in painting individual parts of the body paint whatever part is known to them and do not work on any other part than that. To them, a sovereign king hands a canvas and orders them, all of you paint my portrait. Upon hearing these, they begin to collaborate on painting the portrait. Then one of the engaged painters leaves for another place. By departing and leaving their part of the portrait incomplete, the portrait in its entirety could not be actualized. This is the way the example is applied.
但是背下的我说，他做了嘛背下的，他写就什么这个他说的话，他什么这个他做了背下的这个是吧？他做了背下的这个的，他这个很多的开始呢，我说背，他在那个背下的话，他上去就的，能把写的有些是他了，他我说背下的话，背个头的嘛写的，他讲了背下的，他我说他这些他说字了，他说字的背呢，开始背呢啊。坚持他有坚持要不执行那些起来吧你啊为他乔老师正嘛些点他开始的我也不执行的乔老师的正嘛些点那面试的他说这个刚刚他原来上嘛别的只要来起来吧真的上嘛就上吧是吧这个刚他是把强制正嘛是吧是吧他说没这个原来上嘛他是把正嘛是吧这等于他去走完了但他说别的那主感情上回呢，也让我的老爸的见的，就是写来的长嘛的，然后人说没起来吧，是吧？人了，他的理解这个当然是背下来，他脚步我大概那脚步给变了，他什么这个他说知道给当的，他看到那个书的脚步故事的被强操也不去追学死，强操也不去追学死是吧？强操也不去追学死，人的这个人真的理解了追学死。是吧？你记得这些是呢，那可能结果个配把东西，那可能是你把刚有可能是主要的吧？那这里干了，那可能是变成我也不执行的起来吧去，那这个了，实际现在就当中可马上吧你呢？那如果呀，结果故事强制呀什么的这差误的结果的，那我也不执行的常规用，对面这里大结果故事大也不能主头要嘛，什么的大家就主头要嘛，是吧？我点缀头要嘛，这是我，你看到故事的强场也不清楚头要嘛，这是，我特点变了，是他等他的我们来个的话，那看到要不故事的也不去注嘛，点健康是呢，我这个他的这个个他实际现在基本都靠马上吧接，那现在他们的建也不知道他，喇叭也不知道他，是吧？像那现在是也不知道呢，那点成，那我也不知点成。我这个电脑都是来讲定是吧？他说把背下这个背。
So from the explanations, then you can understand that here with the examples of painters painting a portrait of a king, then so trying these verses explains the method to accomplish the 4 qualities of Buddha through this example. So the example of painters painting a portrait of the sovereign king. So for example, there are there are painters. There is a group of painters then who are individually skilled in drawing different parts of the body, such as the head, eyes, hands, legs, face, and etc. So there's none of them knows how to paint a complete portrait. So this group of painters only skilled in drawing different parts of the body. So none of them know how to draw the complete parts of the body, but each one of them knows how to individually draw the different parts of the body, such as the heads, eyes, and so forth. So those who know how to draw the head, for example, are not sure how to draw other parts. And then the king orders them, all of you paint complete portrait on this canvas, and then hands them the canvas. And then the painters hear the command of the king, and then they start to draw what they are skilled in. And then one of the painters leave to another place, then which means that a painter who is skilled in drawing a particular part of the body, for example, a head, is missing. So therefore, the complete painting cannot be finished. So this is the example, and then you will explain the meaning in next verse. So the meaning, verse 93, it says, the individual parts of the portrait are expressions of generosity, discipline, patience, and so on. Emptiness, which is endowed with all aspects, is expressed by the complete portrait of the king. So the meaning of this verse is the individual, the verse, it says, the individual parts of the portrait are expressions of generosity, discipline, patience, and so on. Emptiness, which is endowed with all aspects, is expressed by the complete portrait of the king. So with the example of a complete portrait of a king, so then we, in order to accomplish or to paint a complete portrait of the king, then a group of painters who are skilled in individual parts are needed. So similarly, in order to achieve the state of enlightenment, this emptiness, the wisdom realizing emptiness, must be endowed with, must be accompanied by these first five perfections. So he talks about the generosity, discipline, patience, and so on, right? So here it refers to the first five perfections. So to explain this further, then we go to verse 93. Yeah. So then the subject, generosity, morality, patience, and so forth, are similar to the Thangka painters because they are excellent methods for accomplishing the wisdom, realizing emptiness, possessing the supreme of all aspects. So in order to accomplish this wisdom, realizing emptiness, possessing the supreme of all aspects, so it means that this wisdom, realizing emptiness, must be accompanied by first 5 perfections. So when this wisdom, realizing emptiness, is accompanied by the first 5 perfections, then it becomes wisdom, realizing emptiness, possessing the supreme of all aspects. And then he says, the wisdom, realizing emptiness, possessing the supreme of all aspects is said to be similar to the body of the sovereign king. So it means, so just as the example in previous 3 verses, he explains that in order to paint a complete portrait of a king, then a group of painters who knows how to draw the parts of the body individually, who is skilled in drawing these individual parts, are grouped together. So similarly, in order to become the wisdom, realizing emptiness, or in order to accomplish the wisdom, realizing emptiness, possessing the supreme of all aspects, then it must conjoin with the assistance of first 5 perfections, such as generosity. And yeah, so in other words, in order to achieve the body of a Buddha, then this wisdom, realizing emptiness, must be accompanied by the first 5 perfections. So then this wisdom, realizing emptiness, possessing the supreme of all aspects, will be able to accomplish the body of the Buddha. So then then with this example, then the Sutra of Dhanarani Svararaja is quoted in order to support this point. It says, what is wisdom, realizing emptiness, possessing the supreme of all aspects? It is without incomplete generosity, is without incomplete morality, is without incomplete patience, is without incomplete joyous effort, is without incomplete concentration. So in other words, it is complete. It is accompanied by complete first 5 perfections, and then that is the wisdom, realizing emptiness, possessing the supreme of all aspects. Then we go to verse 94. So then verse 94, it says, because wisdom, exalted wisdom, and liberation are indivisible from luminosity, radiance, and purity, they resemble the indivisibility of the light, rays, and these of the sun. So the meaning of this verse 94, it says, wisdom refers to the ultimate wisdom directly realizing phenomena as they actually are. Exalted wisdom refers to the ultimate exalted wisdom directly realizing phenomena as many they are. Liberation refers to the permanent abandonment of all defilements. These three, respectively, illuminate reality, radiate out to every existing conventional phenomenon, and are purified of all defilements. So because these three are not different entities, they illuminate like the light of the sun, they radiate like the rays of the sun, and are pure like the disc of the sun. So this wisdom, exalted wisdom, and liberation are indivisible from the luminosity, radiance, and purity. So then with the example of light, rays, and sun discs. So here it says, so wisdom resemble the illuminations of the light, and then exalted wisdom resembles the radiance of light. This is second exalted wisdom. Here you see the exalted wisdom. Then it resembles the radiance of light and are purified of all defilements. So in other words, the purity of all defilements, then this liberation. So the liberations then resembles the purity of all defilements. So because these three are not different entities, so wisdom, exalted wisdom, and liberations are not different entities. So it also means that on the Buddha ground, these two types of wisdom of meditative, exalted wisdom of meditative equipoise and exalted wisdom of subsequent attainment. So there are terms like this terms like exalted wisdom of meditative equipoise and terms of exalted wisdom of subsequent attainment are used on the Buddha ground. However, there is no exalted wisdom of subsequent attainment, which is not conjoined with the exalted wisdom of meditative equipoise. So these two types of wisdom, exalted wisdom of meditative equipoise and exalted wisdom of subsequent attainment, are one entity but different isolates. So it means that Buddhas for 24 hours is always remain in the meditative equipoise. While remaining in the meditative equipoise, Buddhas are able to perform activities, exalted activities such as teaching Dharma, explaining Dharma. Then they are at the same time they are able to perform the activities of subsequent attainment. They are able to perform the activities of meditative equipoise, and they are able to perform the activities of subsequent attainment, such as teaching Dharma, explaining Dharma, and so forth, guiding the disciples. And however, for sentient, the grounds of sentient beings. So grounds of sentient beings refers to the 10th ground and below. So beings who are on the 10th ground and below, then they are called, and those grounds are called grounds of sentient beings. So for such sentient beings, meditative equipoise and subsequent attainment are contradictory. So it means that they are unable to perform two at the same time, like what Buddhas do. So, for example, for sentient beings, when they engage or when they enter the meditative equipoise, then they are unable to teach Dharma. So in order to teach Dharma, then they need to rise from the meditative equipoise. Then they teach Dharma or explain Dharma during the subsequent attainment. So however, for Buddha, these two, the exalted wisdom of meditative equipoise and exalted wisdom of subsequent attainment, are one entities but different isolates. So it means that even though they are terms like this exalted wisdom of meditative equipoise and exalted wisdom of subsequent attainment, however, there is no exalted wisdom of subsequent attainment which is not conjoined with the exalted wisdom of meditative equipoise. So it means that when Buddhas is always remaining in the meditative equipoise. While remaining in meditative equipoise, Buddhas are able to perform the activities of subsequent attainment, such as explaining Dharma, teaching Dharma, without rising from the meditative equipoise. Next verse is verse 95. And this verse 95 is under the outlines of the meaning of the assertion that the hearer and solitary realizer do not possess the ultimate vehicle and ultimate nirvana. So verse 95, it says, hence, without attaining Buddhahood, there is no attainment of non-abiding nirvana, just as the sun cannot be observed set apart from its light and light rays.
보통 말아. 나 대나시 뭐 예매를 뭐 예매 기다려야 돼.
상기마토 상기에
상제다.
상기
다도 연애도 뭐 예매 봐. 봐. 나 근데 뭐 예매가 순서디 나 간다 가는 맛 지기 쉬운데라 상호 땅어디 네 제맥이 나한테라 나한테 지니가 매번 대봐 근데 상호 땅 봐이나 나든 지금 말해서 제맥 봐 제맥라 간다 나한테 지니가 매번 대고 이제 지금 나한테 제목 매번 치는 거래 간다 제맥이 나한테라 나한테 지니가 열어서 제맥 다시 뭐지라 나한테 열어와 이제 다시 뭐지라 나한테 완전 다시 나한테 지니가 열어서 나한테 지니가 열어이나 나한테 타투디요 말해서 봐 나한테 타투디요 말해서 아니 타투가 뭐 나한테 타투들라 나 인디시 속으로 와 나 인디시 속으로 와 나 인디시 부는 속으로 와서 나 인디시 속바 재미 가서지라 요 말. 이 요 말. 와 나한테 월마 더 받에 되게 가다 상지라 재미 나한테 진입한 메스나 되는 데가 제공 운에 누가 되는 거나 지들라 반대와 누구 말을 들었는데와 무슨 누구 말을 디지털 좀요 말을 빼나 재미 상지 봐봐 요 말을 세워서 집안에서 이 대화치 요 말아 디지털 좀요 말 가지면서 재미 상지 믿어 아시나와 이나 난 좋아라고 좋아하시는 요 말을 들 배인 좋아라 그런 배인 좋아하시고 이제 좋아 얘는 아시 예스 네 뒤에서 나한테 진입한 메시지 하고 말했어 뭐야 말했어 재미나 나한테 진입한 메시지 말했어 냠대 타도받아 메시지 말했어 냠대 타도받아 가르치는 메시지 냠대 타도받아 인디시 처음 그랬어 근데 인디시 처음 그랬어 들어와 인디시와 산더미리 이제 전에 이제 주마미리 인디시와 어때 인디시 보는 사고 인디시 시보때 소비 나한테라 나 상제마도 다도 나를 말 자원이 이거 쓰고 말했어 어디에 되나
So I explain this verse 95 and go to extra notes. Then it says, one doesn't attain ultimate nirvana without attaining Buddhahood because these two are indivisible in nature. So it means that this ultimate nirvana and Buddhahood are indivisible in nature. So in order to attain the ultimate nirvana, then one must possess these four qualities as mentioned just now. So in verse 88. Yeah, in verse 88. In verse 89, then it says all aspects of qualities, quality of being numberless, inconceivable and devoid of defilements of the two obscurations. So in order to become an ultimate nirvana, then it must possess these four qualities. Without possessing these four qualities, then it is not an ultimate nirvana. Therefore, it is also not a Buddhahood. Then go to verse 95. So for example, it is like the sun disk cannot be observed apart from its light and light rays. So Buddhahood and ultimate nirvana are indivisible in nature. So just like the sun disk cannot be observed apart from its light and light rays. So if you were to remove light and light rays, sunlight and the light rays of the sun, then you will not be able to see the sun disk. So similar to this. So it also means that these two, ultimate nirvana and Buddhahood, they are indivisible in nature. So if you were to remove part of it, then it is not. Then it is not what it is. So if you were to remove, then if nirvana is not possessed of these four qualities, then it will not be an ultimate nirvana. If it were not an ultimate nirvana, then it will not be indivisible in nature with the Buddhahood. So depending on this text, if one were to assert that there is no fully qualified nirvana in the Hinayana, so if one were to think that, in that case, so following what is mentioned here, if one does not attain ultimate nirvana, then one would not attain Buddhahood. So if following this, if one were to assert that, so here is something like doubt or objection. So if one were to assert that there is no fully qualified nirvana in the Hinayana, then it would become a great fault of abandoning Dharma. So here is trying to say that there is no ultimate nirvana in Hinayana. So it doesn't say that there is no fully qualified nirvana in Hinayana. So here it says, this has no relation with what was mentioned above. So what was mentioned above referred to this: one does not attain ultimate nirvana without attaining Buddhahood. So this doubt comes from not differentiating ultimate nirvana from the fully qualified nirvana. So because of not differentiating between the ultimate nirvana and fully qualified nirvana, therefore this doubt would arise. So if one were to, then one would assert that there is no, in that case, then there is no fully qualified nirvana in the Hinayana. So this doesn't mean that there is no fully qualified nirvana in the Hinayana. So this explains that there is no ultimate nirvana in the Hinayana. So if one were to assert this based on this explanation, then it would become a great fault of abandoning Dharma. So this has no relation with what was mentioned above. Then it will be no different from saying, then if you were to say that there is a relation between this and this, then it would be like saying there is no Arhat in Mahāyāna because there is no Buddha Arya in Hinayana. So this saying there is no connection, or there is no relation between this part of the sentence and because there is no Buddha Arya in the Hinayana. So then it will be like this. So therefore, because of not differentiating the difference between ultimate nirvana and fully qualified nirvana, so therefore one has this doubt. So in Hinayana, there is fully qualified nirvana. So for example, the hearers, Arhat, the nirvana attained by hearers, the nirvana attained by solitary realizers, then they are these liberations or this nirvana are fully qualified nirvana, but they are not the ultimate nirvana. Do already. And we go to first two lines of verse 96. Under the outlines of summary, first two lines of verse 96, he says, the Tathāgata essence is set out by way of these 10 presentations. So he set out by way of these 10 presentations, then referring to extra notes, 10 presentation. Yeah. So I added the words identifying the 10 presentations of the essence. The first one is entity, the second one is cause, and etc. So these are the 10 presentations. Go back to verse 6. Yeah. So the concurrent essence, it is expressed as being endowed with the 10 presentations such as entity. So as what I mentioned, as what I shown just now. these 10 presentations, such as entity, cause, and etc. So because it is just as what they have already been established above. So in previously, then these 10 presentations have already established. Then following the Tathāgata essence, defilements are established. To this part. Then we go back to this. So he says the above presentations of the Tathāgata essence, in the way it has been set out with these descriptions of its nature or entity and so forth, has been in 10 parts or 10 presentations or 10 aspects of presentation. So these presentations have concentrated concentrated on explaining the basic element in terms of its natural purity, while its adventitious defilements have been explained incidentally. The next sections is So here, these 10 presentations explain about the basic element. So the basic elements refer the basic element in terms of its natural purity. So in terms of its natural purity, it means that the mind is naturally pure. So our minds are naturally pure, and the adventitious defilements are, and those defilements are adventitious. So those defilements are adventitious also means that these defilements are not intrinsic to the nature of the mind. Yeah, so the basic element, explain the basic element in terms of its natural purity. So he talks about the natural purity of the mind. So the mind is naturally pure, and it is devoid of defilements. So these defilements are adventitious. It means that these defilements are not intrinsic to the nature of the mind. The next two lines of verse 96 then is under the outlines of establishing obscurations of the basic element by adventitious defilement through 9 similes. So 9 similes, 9 examples, 9 analogies, so they are the same. Then it refers to the same thing. So he is establishing the obscurations of the basic element by adventitious defilement through 9 similes. And under this outline is the next two lines of verse 96. He says, at present, the basic element dwells within a shell of afflictions and is to be known by way of examples. So to explain these two lines, then we refer to extra notes. Then he says, the essence that dwells within a shell of afflictions should be understood by way of 9 analogies, such as a Buddha form body and a lotus with bad complexion. Yeah, so the essence refers to the Tathāgata essence that dwells within a shell of afflictions should be understood by way of the 9 analogies, such as the Buddha form body and the lotus with bad complexion and so forth. So these we'll explain later. We are going to explain these. So there is a purpose of knowing it in this manner. So because it has the meaning of manifestly realizing the meaning of the essence. Again, essence here refers to Tathāgata essence through abandoning the 9 defilements. So what is the purpose of knowing these in the manner of 9 similes or 9 analogies because it has the meaning of manifestly realizing the meaning of the Tathāgata essence through abandoning the 9 defilements. So definite enumerations of 18 analogies. So just now we mentioned that there are 9 analogies, right? So then here we talk about 18 analogies. I will explain. So what is the reason for ascertaining the 9 analogies that illustrates the thoroughly afflicted class and the completely pure class? So there is a reason to ascertain the obstructors by way of the 9 analogies because the objects, which is the obstructed or obstructions, is ascertained by way of the 9 analogies. So there are 9 analogies that illustrates the obstructors, and there are 9 analogies that illustrates the obstructions or the obstructed, the objects, obstructions. Yeah. So therefore, it makes 18 analogies. So otherwise, basically, it means that there are 9 analogies that illustrate the thoroughly afflicted class, which is obstructed, and the completely, So there are 9 analogies that illustrates the thoroughly afflicted class, and there are 9 analogies that illustrates the completely pure class. So because of this, then it makes 18 analogies. So then they are definite in 9. So they are definite in 9 refers to the objects, the obstructed. So you can say that the objects of again, you can say the obstruction is sustained by way of the 9 analogies. The obstructions then is ascertained by way of the 9 analogies, and then they are definite in 9. So then we need to ascertain what these 9s are, what they are. So then the 3 seeds of the 3 poisons, then refers to the first, second, and third. And then the fourth one is the intense manifestations of the 3, and then are counted as 1. So the intense manifestations of the 3 poisons are counted as 1, which is number 4. The grounds of the imprints of ignorance is 5. The objects of abandonment of the path of seeing of the Mahāyāna is number 6. And the objects of abandonment of the path of meditation of the Mahāyāna is number 7. Yeah, so here is the objects of abandonment of the path of seeing of the Mahāyāna is number 6. And the objects of abandonment of the path of meditation of the Mahāyāna is number 7. And the obstructions based on the Mahāyāna impure grounds, then it is number 8. And the obstruction is based on the Mahāyāna pure grounds, and this is number 9. So these are the 9 obstructions.
다른 데는 어떤 나자 지시다 배고 지우도와 다다지 고등아도 그 너무시 지시 배고 들어와 그 너무시 나자지 선생님 배고 니샤도와 가마
대군인 요모베 초르베
다들 그 너무 좋더라
자기인데 가자인데 이 도숨기 사변 숨고서
어디마
나서
그 너무 좋다 나자 저 참바 지금 이제 니시와 다른데 그 너무 좋은 사람와 나자 지시 배고 마시와 나자 지시 배고데 다 되는 c'est pas bon de ta terre bon de ça de de tu vas en voir na ja tu tu pas bon de ce que ta terre bon de as ta kono diji ji pas bon de de terre tu pas bon de je te chez moi ta tenda chez tu pas chez moi ta tu pas de ce droit
càng là chỉ bắt cú là này thì cái đấy ở bên nhiều mô bị chốt cú là này thì rồi
cái nhiều mô số là đó đó chỉ cái nhiều mô số chỉ nói số là thế rồi 다들 다 나머지 저 맞아 저기 다 빼고는 이제 가서 다 대고는 그러고 와서 다 대고도 마시고 와 다들야 다 취지고 대기니 우리가 송문자 예수다 나서 다 대신님 보고 이제 뭐 이와 예수
혼다 대숨데
대신님 보고 이와 우리보다 봐 이와 예수도 뒤지 대신님 보고 뒤지 예수들 대신님 보고 예수만 뒤로 그랬어 와
대신님 보이나 대숨 나로라 대교교로
대수 뒤지 와 이제 대수 다 간다 대수 다들 말이야 그때 들어와 다 또봐 맞아 이 축구들 맞아 또봐 축구다 땜바 축구스 니 이해 봤지 좋아 다 또봐 축구 땜바 축구 니 어디 다 당부 정말 저리 다 또봐 축구들 기즈 아버지 다 땜바 축구들 니샤 땜바 축구들 니다 군조 땜바 너희 된지 좋으시면 전대 인도 지다 다 땜바 너희 된지 좋으시면 너희 인도 니
땜바 축구
땜바 축구들 니샤와 아니도 군조대 망이 되지 좋아지면 당대지도 다서 된다대 망이 되지 좋아지면 내대지도 다시 그와 다 리텔라 모든 니바니 샤고와 모니샤 다 모든 라기니리테 나 제주리테 또 모든 니샤 리티 모라 라기니 제주리와 와다 라기니리다 나 제주리다 또 리지니 빠져와 리지니 빠져라 모니지 군주는지 뭔지 그 얘기는지 다 수고 니다 롱제 좀고 이런지다 초로 좀고 이런지 라니 다 고때 그거 뭔도와 다들 나자 저지 때문에 이제 다 대한민국에 거래 해서 여기 데려와
basically, these nines, you can say that they are the obstructions, and then you can also say that these nines are the class, thoroughly afflicted class. So then you can see that the seeds of the three poison and so forth. So this refers to the nine of thoroughly afflicted class, nine thoroughly afflicted class. And then the analogy that illustrates the completely pure is definite in illustrates the yes, it's definitely yeah. So yeah, so these nines are the thoroughly afflicted class, right? And the following nine, you can see here, the following nine refers to completely pure class. So the analogy that illustrates the completely pure, so the completely pure class, is definite in nine because the meaning is definite in nine. So, furthermore, truth body, Dhammakaya, suchness, truth body or Dhammakaya, suchness or lineage, then these three are not counted in the nine yet. So here it says, furthermore, truth body, suchness, and lineage. So it means that the Tathāgata essence is included within these three. The Tathāgata essence is included within the truth body, the suchness, and lineage. So these three includes the Tathāgata essence. And then regarding the first, so regarding the first truth body, then the truth body of realization, the truth body and realizations, and the truth body of the doctrine. So truth body can be divided into two: the truth body of realization and the truth body of the doctrine. So number one is the truth body of realization. And the second one is the truth body of the doctrine is divided into two, and they are sutras of definite meaning that teach the ultimate, and sutras of interpretable meaning that teach the conventional. Yeah. So then this is number 2 and number 3. So we are counting the 9, right? The 9 completely pure class. So 9 examples of completely pure class. So then the first one is truth body of realization, and the second one is a sutra of definite meaning that teach the ultimate, and sutra of interpretable meaning that teach the conventional, and which are the divisions of the truth body of the doctrine. So this one is not counted as number 2, but the divisions of the truth body of the doctrine are counted as number 2 and number 3. So then it becomes 3, right? So first here, and the second and third here. So then together with the second, refers to suchness. So together with the second, suchness, and that makes it 4. So then we have 4 similes already, or 4 analogies. And then regarding the third, lineage, so referring to this one. So regarding the lineage, then in terms of entity, so in terms of the entity of the lineage, then it is divided into 2. Naturally abiding lineage and developmental lineage. So then the divisions of the entity of lineage, these 2, naturally abiding lineage and developmental lineage, are counted as number 5 and number 6. And in terms of the ability, so in terms of the ability of the lineage, then again it is divided into 2. It is suitable to it is suitable that because of that which is suitable. Yeah, so that which is suitable to abide as the nature truth body, and that which is suitable to abide as the 2 form bodies. So the number 7 is that which is suitable to abide as the nature truth body, and the number 8 and number 9 are that which is suitable to abide as the 2 form bodies, right? So number 8 is that which is suitable to abide as the enjoyment body, and number 9 is that which is suitable to abide as the supreme emanation body. So these are the 9 similes of completely pure class.
that's the discussion with that someone who
is la ten jitem be tu cha dang je we yu la yu
so command
jitem ba na de jitang ye ka san jitem ba ro so so ki wo da wo re
that they can sit like also they can sit like is not that they come command the other trade they think you can take like is that they jitem the other can so what they to come command like
jitem ba na de jitem be tu cha sa de jitem ba na de 강사 ja yo ma ro 강사 ina ya na de jitem ba rang de ja ri
jitem the other trade can jitem the other jitem the other trade can so is not come
so
근데 너무 빨라 두수지 빨라네 너무 좋아 두수 빨라냐 와대 두수 빨라냐 와대 때 강사 쓰기 기라요 그래서 때 데뷔 땡기지 강사다 칸 고마 땡기지 강사로와 이 강사 쓰기 기라요 그래서 다 이때 내가 찾아 나와대 강사대 칸 고마래 칸 고미 땡기 강사 칸 고마 되게 기라요 그래서 그 데뷔 땡기라 요 말인데 데뷔 기라 뭐도 들어와 그 빨라냐 말아 데뷔 강사라 뭐도 들어와 칸 고마라 빨라냐 뭐스 그러다
this is the continuum of those who that's all that's all. So here we are talking about so this talks about the 9 similes or 9 examples or 9 analogies and 9 meaning. So it talks the correlation between this analogy together with its meaning. So this is a very important topic. So try to pay attention to it. So then we have talked about this 9 thoroughly afflicted class, which are the obstructions, and then we have talked about these 9. So the 9 completely pure class. So then we are going to start the explanations of latent 3 poisons. So latent 3 poisons refer to the seeds of the 3 poisons. Yeah. So we're going to talk about this the first 3 thoroughly afflicted class. So the tusum pala nyesa de and the tusum gi saben de that's all. Yeah, so it relates to the 3 seeds of the 3 poisons. So then we talk about what attributes do they possess. So then we go to the subject, the latent 3 poisons. Then the latent 3 poisons refers the seeds of the 3 poisons are endowed with 4 attributes because basis they exist in the continua of those who are free from worldly attachment. So those who are free from worldly attachment refers to those in upper realms, those in the 2 upper realms. So these latent 3 poisons exist in the continua of those in the 2 upper realms, and then they act as the causes of immovable karma. So immovable karma also refers to the karma that the projecting karma of 2 upper realms, the projecting karma of upper realms. So immovable karma refers to the projecting karma of upper realms. So it means that this karma give right, these karmas, depending on this karma, then they are born in upper realms. So this is what it means by immovable karma. And then functions is to accomplish the 2 upper realms, so as mentioned here. So this immovable karma, then depending on this karma, then they are born in 2 upper realms, right? So the functions of this is they accomplish the 2 upper realms. And antidotes is they are to be destroyed by the supra-mundane assorted wisdom. So supra-mundane assorted wisdom also refers to the assorted wisdom directly realizing emptiness in the continua of ayas. So they are to be destroyed by the supra-mundane assorted wisdom. So this supra-mundane assorted wisdom refers to the assorted wisdom directly realizing emptiness in the ayas, in the continua of ayas. So these latent 3 poisons are to be destroyed by this supra-mundane assorted wisdom.
다 디바 시바드 좋아. 다 디바 시바드 두 성wen주와 서들에 디바 시바드 하데. 와. 두 성wen주와 디바 시바드. 다 디바 시바드 간다. 다 되게 주식 같은 다 주식 시대. 야들아. 와. 다 주식 시대 된 와. 다 주식 시대 가르스나. 다두 성wen주와 다땡 수비기라서 땡 데비컴 강사비라 그랬어. 땡. 와. 땡 데컴비. 땡 데비컴 줄라 그랬어.
데비 캄바로.
원 데비컴 줄라 그랬어. 다 데컴 줄라 그러고 와. 땡 데비컴 줄라 그랬어. 세노다 쭉 가르치나 세노다 세노 많이 빌리지 주시고 그랬어. 세노 많이 빌리스나 세노도 나서 대바 지원 빌리지 줘. 대바 몰라. 대바 몰라 지원 빌리지 줘서 세노 빌려로 와. 세노 빌려. 다 세노 많이 빌리스나 년도 지원 빌리지 줘. 세노 많이 빌리지 와. 세노 많이 빌리지 년도 지원 빌리지 줘. 다 단자게 와 간다.
세노 빌레나 대양
대바 밀러 와. 대로 지원 빌리지. 대로 지원 빌리지 와. 어디래? 세노 많이 빌려대. 당 년도 지원 빌리지.
빈지.
다 셰레는 단 데비컴 누가 치그레스 데비컴 누가 치그레스 다 님보데 다 아리는 시군다 다 내샤기 님보 두고 이게 와 셰당기 님보 샤바 두무기 님보 텐데라에 뭐가 텐데라에 뭐 무슨 말이지
그게 시장 팀모
두무기 두무기 님보데 다 간다 텐데라에 막 공부 되게 맞지 예스 다 레레는 막 님보데다 시레 가려 제바 가려 좀 마시 와
So then this covers the first three obstructions. And then the fourth one is the manifest three poisons. So the manifest three poisons, and you can here. Okay. Yeah, so the intense manifestations of the three are counted as one, right? So 당긴 데 가서 당긴 아주 뒤로 그 잡어대로 대숨대 지도 두바대나 대단한 시바대로
我在学吧，咱在学吧的，你送多少吧？送多少？但你送几？但你读书的记了这个吧？打不的记了这个吧？
So the intense manifestations of the three are counted as one. So we are referring to the fourth obscuration. So the manifest three poisons are endowed with four attributes because they exist in the continuum of those in the desarium, and they act as the causes of meritorious and non-meritorious actions. So these meritorious actions are the projecting karma of higher realms, happy migrations. So the meritorious actions are the projecting karma of happy migration, and non-meritorious actions are the projecting karma of miserable migration. So miserable migration, three lower realms, and then happy migration refers to the three higher realms. Yeah, and the function is they accomplish the desarium, and antidote is they are to be destroyed by cultivating perception, meditating on ugliness, loving kindness, and divisions of dependent arising. So it means that these three poisons, the first one, attachment is destroyed by cultivating perceptions, meditating on ugliness, and hatred is destroyed by cultivating loving kindness, and ignorance is destroyed by cultivating or meditating on the divisions of dependent arising.
다 말이 바샤지 사디야 지지시다 된 거래서 와. 다 지지시 가르나 다 때 가서 쓰고 기다렸으나 다 때다 좀 기다려서 와. 때다 좀 기다려서 다 제레드 가르스나 다 사번 밀리지 가르시나 사메지 지지시 그래서 와. 사메지 줘. 다 사메지 줘. 저 와서 대와 사메지 주시서 다 간다들 일이 더 정말 간다 네들 더 정말이나 답이신데 지원해주시죠. 와, 더 정말이나 답이신데 지원해주죠.
답이신라.
와, 답이신라야.
지지해주죠.
와, 더 정말 써. 장시사 제가 그거 주고 저희나 다 상기도 많고 지원해주시죠.
사기바 구바
주가 그거 써도 다 신직이 되는 막 상기도 보아라 지원해주시죠.
신직이 된도.
다 신직이 되는 막 보아라 지원해드려와. 신직이 된다는 막 민지만 보아라 지원해 우리 되게 주차하고 사범이 되지. Sami Yijian, the Jushi is. I shall it, I Yijian to what they do. She let the Yiji, Yiji, to Bashi Yijian to the law, Yijian, Yiji, Shilly, Yiji, now you do Bashi, you to Bashi is. I never the Karsna, I know Chiki Tambo, Japanto, that don't want to
did that
Nembo de, that the Mari Pacha de, that was a Mari Pacha de that, Shansi, Sachuba, Padiorwa, Sachuba, Tamabat.
Mari Pacha
is that Mari Pacha de Mata, Mari Pacha de Nazo, Chidangas in Mari Pacha de Nazo, Chili Chofun of China, Mazo, Chewa, the Sa Cheva, Jiwa, Sa Goba, Chumu the Sachuan Poma. That is Jodi, that's not Chubab and Tama, the Mazo, Sachubi, one of Dojita things, you're such a Tama, one of Dojita things. Digi, Mari Pacha Shidi Chu, the La Panguni Kateja, Nemboche, that tell a Nembochi, the Kiji Nibala, that Nanchi Todua, Kiji Nibala.
Shidi Chunwala,
or Shidi
Nimbo de Chigio,
and the Ninichi, one of Dojita things, such in Tama, you're one of Kiji, such in Tama, one of Dojita things in the world.
Oh, yeah, this Sachubat
Tamadua,
Tamadua,
that teaches you Gona, teaches you Gona, that kind of teaches you Gona, vegetable things. Tigi, Kanda, Shiji Chung to la Miniche, the Kiji Nibala, that non she Tobata, that another, the Tongo. That's what Mari Pasha said to me. Mari Pasha said, one Kiji Niba.
Namkin
Niba Nachi told it, that Kiji Niba Nachi told it, that Nachi the Kiji Tambura. Sanji Sala told the Tambo, Nachi Kiji Tambura. So, Juba Bombe, Amope, Kiji Tambo as one of those things in Uniche.
Kiji Tambo,
or Kiji Tambo,
Kiji Tambo,
Kiji Tambo Uniche, the Kiji Niba,
Nachi top,
Nachi told it. I said, one, Gay Bomba, Nachi Tambo, Torade, Nachi to a Tambura, Nachi Tomato, and Nachi Tomato, the Nachi Kiji Tambo. Sanji Sala, Tomato, Nidi, Shidi Pacha, Bomba, Sanji Batinora, Sanji Batina, the Sanji to be Kiji Tambo, Sanji to be Kiji Tambo, the Nachi Kiji Tambo, Nachi Tambo, or Dilla. Nachi, Nemo, Nachi Kiji Tambo, the Chebana, get Dogre, Nemo, Nachi Kiji Tambo, Chebana, Mari Pacha Sapa, or Dino. That's Sanji Batambo.
Mari Pacha is Sas at the anti Mari Pacha get Tendara. Mari Pacha is Sas, Sena Yang and the Mari Pacha is
Nachi Tambo Jodi, to eat it, Mari Pacha Sapangre is there, the Roshevuna, Mari Pacha. Was not that she did Pacha Jamwa.
The teach Tambo in a deang, because they told you putting in the comne, and it is shitty Chunwala, the Winnie de Chigoro, the Kish Tambo, and the Kijini by the Namkin Tobares. In the Namkin Tobate, young Kiji Tambo, say a day, Namkin Kish Tambo, Namkin Kish Tambo. Namkish Nambode, any the Mari Pacha Pangwa to Yamis, Sangi Toba.
Pacha Pamba, the Nachi Kiji Tambo Tobatina. Mari Pacha said the Pamba, the Nachi Kiji Tambo Tobatina.
Sangi Toba, and it's to Yaro. So then we go to number 5. So the grounds of imprints of ignorance. So the grounds of imprints of ignorance, basically, it refers to the imprints of ignorance. So this ground of imprints of ignorance is endowed with 4 attributes because the basis, they exist in the continuum of our hearts. Yeah, they exist in the continuum of our hearts. And the second one is they act as the causes of uncontaminated action. So uncontaminated actions, so for our hearts, then for our hearts, these uncontaminated actions are actions that they take rebirth in the Pure Lands. So for our hearts, so these uncontaminated actions refers to cause, refers to cause of projecting cause to 가서 자주마이나 당신라 기지기 교세요로
자기가 저
편지기 교라 기지기 교라 그래
기지기
기지교 라소 yeah, so sorry, I shouldn't use the word projecting actions or projecting cause. So they are the causes upon which or depending on which they are born in Pure Land for arhats. So these uncontaminated actions for arhats are causes depending on which they are born in Pure Lands. And for bodhisattvas on the 8th ground, on the 9th ground, and on the 10th ground, then these uncontaminated actions are causes for them to are causes to take rebirth, are causes of taking rebirth in samsara. Uncontaminated actions for bodhisattvas on the 8th, 9th, and 10th ground are causes of taking rebirth in samsara. And so and then functions, they accomplish the mental body, and the antidote is they are overcome at the first moment of arising of omniscience. So regarding this, when we talk about the imprints of ignorance, so imprints of ignorance exist until the 10th ground. Imprints of ignorance exist until the 10th ground. So when we talk about these imprints of ignorance, if it is divided, then it is divided into great, medium, and small. And the great one is posited on the 8th ground, and the medium one is posited on the 9th ground, and the small one is posited on the 10th ground. So in other words of saying this, the great imprints of ignorance is abandoned on the 8th ground, and then respectively, then they are respectively abandoned on the respective ground. Mari baca na di cewa de ni asa kiba la de pangyo ro. Ah, kiba de go tu ya dang ini di cewa de yang sa kiba la de pangyo re. Jingwai na de sat kuba de pangyo ro. So so the imprints of ignorance also refers to knowledge obscuration. Imprints of ignorance also refers to knowledge obscurations. And on the 8th ground, then those who are on the 8th ground starts to abandon knowledge obscuration. So the great imprints of ignorance are abandoned on the 8th ground. The medium imprints of ignorance are abandoned on the 9th ground, and the small imprints of ignorance are abandoned on the 10th ground. And yeah, then so then at the last moment of the 10th ground, then one cultivates the Vajra-like teaching. So on so referring to the Mahāyāna path of meditation, and those who are on the last moment of 10th ground, then they cultivate the Vajra-like concentration. They cultivate the Vajra-like meditative civilization, and then this Vajra-like meditative civilization acts as a direct antidote to the small knowledge obscuration, or the small imprints of ignorance. And then that is the first moment, right? So the last moment on the 10th ground, the first moment, they cultivate this Vajra-like meditative civilization, which acts as a direct antidote to the small imprints of ignorance or knowledge obscuration. And the second moment, they attain the omniscience. They attain the state of omniscience. So then the first moment of omniscience and the abandonment of the grounds of imprints of ignorance and the attainment of Buddhahood are simultaneous. I repeat. So the first moment, right? So at the last moment of the 10th ground, the first moment they cultivate Vajra-like meditative civilization, which acts as a direct antidote to the small imprints of ignorance. And then the second moment they attain omniscience. then the first moment of omniscience and the abandonment of grounds of imprints of ignorance and the attainment of Buddhahood are simultaneous. So today we are going to stop here. Next class, I'm going to start from the number 6. So we have covered the first 5 obscurations, and it's a very important topic. There is a very important information or topic in this. In this context. So it talks about the analogy and the meaning of the obscurations. So these are very important. So please pay attention to it, and then please read the books that you have, and then before next class, so that you have a better understanding. Then next class we are going to start from number 6. Today we'll stop here. We conclude with dedication. We dedicate these roots of virtue to the flourishing of Buddha Dharma and to the excellent happiness of all sentient beings. We also dedicate these roots of virtue to all upholders of Buddha's teaching, mainly His Holiness the Dalai Lama, to live eons long, to have excellent health, and may all their enlightened activities and holy wishes be accomplished instantaneously and spread in all directions. And we also dedicate these roots of virtue specifically to our beloved teacher, Gyaltsab Lama Zopa Rinpoche. May Rinpoche's holy wishes be accomplished instantaneously without any obstacle. And we also dedicate these roots of virtue to world peace, and may excellent happiness prevail throughout the world.
Rinpoche ma che pa na ti bu chi che wa nyamba me ma yang kon ne kon do pe wa sho ja me ba yu chi da che ma da kun do sam bo de ya de de da kun ge che zo da lo che ki wa de da kan che ra do ngo tu ni ta wa Rinpoche ma che pa na ti bu chi che wa nyamba me ma yang kon ne kon do pe wa sho ni ta wa Rinpoche ma che pa na ti bu chi che wa nyamba me ma yang kon ne kon do pe wa sho tu ni ni che sun do ju be la chi se se kan che de de cho no pe mo de zeng ga zo la so wa de zo je de de do sho ji de kan de pe le ma ba kan le jo sa be ji no tu me ten zeng ga zo la so wa de so tu je le do sho da me te ma ke se ni ran zo lo sa ke wa ye se ke ba je ran ja shi ge ke yo ma le be de me ba tu me ke le jo so zo be tu de Rinpoche shi ta tu be zi ji be wa la na ya mi shi shi be ko cha zi tu me ji zi la ma so wa de pe de ma le ju wei ko ji ko ya ye de na ma ke jo wa ye te na ti tu chen ba zi be mo no bu shi wa shi de yi de ba we da chu zo ke so chi na da ja se na ji tu je la bo je lu me te be ya lu sa be zo ke sa de ji be do yu ji sho ra we ko we shin kan de pe na de wa ma lu ju we ne che re se wa te zi ga zo ye sha pe si de pa tu de yu ji